there at training camp?
Well, there's a lot going on, Sami. I think when you look at this football team, they're really anxious to get in a close as a real game as possible, which will be Friday night against the Oakland Raiders, silver and black coming to town. And I think for these players, it's a chance to get a real test to line up against somebody that's not a teammate and really find out where they're at as a football team. So that's always the first major hurdle in training camp, and that is how does it look when you're playing an opposing football team. And I think the plan right now for Bruce Arians is to allow this first team to play the first series, see how that plays out, probably 10, 12 plays. This is really a key audition, to steal a term from the world of entertainment and music, an audition for players in that 30th to 53 position. You're looking at backup players, you're looking at rookies that are trying to make a strong first impression with this coaching staff. This is a very, very difficult veteran-based roster to make. You have the developmental squad, you got the taxi squad, as we used to say, and then you got the 53-man squad. So they're very competitive at each and every position. I think for the Arizona Cardinals, the focus will continue to be on the right tackle, DJ Humphries. We talked to him today. Also, the cornerback position with Brandon Williams, the rookie from Texas A&M. So I think this place will be rocking. There were 25,000 fans here Saturday for the red and white practice, almost unheard of, the kind of interest we've seen in this football team that many believe is a legit Super Bowl contender, and it's going to be off the hook come Friday night when the Raiders come to town. Raiders popular as well in the Valley, so I think the real first taste of some legitimate hitting here for this football team and a chance to see some of the newer faces. Game one's almost always just kind of a little bit of breaking a sweat for the first teamers, but more important for those guys trying to impress this coaching staff, trying to make this team and try to make their way throughout their professional career.
Wow, so you're saying 25,000 people just over the weekend. Not even a game. That's crazy, Jude.
It really is, and it was really great to see some of the young guys get out there. There was a long audition, I should say autograph session after the game, the practice session. You saw Tyrann Mathieu kind of take the lead out there, and this place was just packed with fans wanting an autograph, wanting a selfie, wanting a picture, and the players went out and worked the crowd. So, that's one of the fan-friendly aspects of preseason and training camp. You can get up close and personal with some of your favorite players, and we saw a lot of that on Saturday. So those are unique opportunities, as this team continues to grow in popularity. Connecting with the coaching staff, the players, is a big part of that association with the passion that goes from fan to player. But certainly I think, on the football field today, nothing really dramatic. Carson Palmer took the day off. We're seeing some of the veteran players, and this is what's great about Bruce Arians. He understands where guys are in their career. If you're 36, 37 years old and you're Carson Palmer, you pace yourself. You only got so many throws in that arm, and you make sure that this is an effective camp, but you're not frying out or you're not going through the roof here and risking injury or overdoing it. So again, this is a smart staff. They know how to ask a lot of the team and yet be smart about just working these guys in an appropriate manner and pacing them along the way. Now, that's not the case with some of the rookies or some of the newcomers that are desperately just trying to make a team and make it professional football. So I think that's what you're going to see come Friday night. You're going to see some of the guys like Brandon Williams and Chris Hubert, and you'll have a chance to see DJ Humphries, last year's top pick, get plenty of playing time and keep an eye on some of these young guys as they try to make their way.
What are the key things you've noticed regarding, I guess, the evolution of training from last Monday through today?
I think it's the spirit and how well organized things are. This is a coaching staff that really has a sense of what they need to accomplish. It's a very organized practice session, from special teams to basic agility drills to plyometrics to ladder drills. And then you really see this team kind of get very organized in terms of what they want to accomplish, and that includes special teams. We've seen the new long snapper, Daniel Dillon, come in and get plenty of reps, and the kicking game with Butler and Catanzaro. I think one of the things I've looked at is where the backup quarterbacks are at. Drew Stanton got plenty of reps today. Still trying to get a feel for Matt Barkley from USC and Jake Coker from Alabama. I think those are kind of interesting scenarios. What will we see from some of these young guys? I also talked to a young guy, and this was an interesting story, Marquis Bundy. He grew up in Anthem, not far from here, as a Cardinal fan, played high school football here, and he's actually on this roster trying to make his way on the Cardinals team. So, what I see is a veteran-based team that knows what it has to accomplish and goes about their business in a very direct and organized way. It's what I love about Bruce Arians. He asks a lot of his team, but he doesn't drill them into the wall here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of coaches are just taskmasters, and they grind players down during this training camp period. Those days are long gone because of the new collective bargaining agreement, and when you look at what they need to accomplish with a veteran-based team. So they play smart. We haven't seen the muscle pulls like we saw last year, a lot of the hamstring injuries. Seems like they've got that down, with Buddy Morris and Roger Kingdom, their strength conditioning staff here. So not a lot of soft tissue injuries. Most of the injuries are either carryover injuries or something that happened of a fluke nature. Kemdiche's got that ankle sprain. He should be back within the next week or so we'll keep an eye on that. And believe me, when Tyrann Mathieu gets on the field, which could be anywhere in that 2.5 week period, this place will go crazy. He is fast becoming just the guy that everybody wants an autograph from. So it's been fun to watch. I just am really impressed in how this coaching staff operates and how well organized they go through their practice sessions.
You talk about the guy that everyone wants an autograph from. You mentioned the autographs, the selfies. I mean, in your observation, how has the sort of Cardinals fever grown in the last decade, evolved?
It's been one of the most amazing transformations in not only NFL but in pro sports. I mean, I remember going up to Flagstaff, Samia, where you had to rent fans, okay? I mean, I'm not kidding you. I mean, you had to get extra people, like wave them off the streets, because there was very little interest. I mean, when I go back to the 90s when this team, early to mid-90s, when this team really struggled, I mean, I didn't even think I was at an NFL training camp. You had some stragglers watching practice, and, there wasn't much of a fan base. Now, when things started to turn, when the stadium was built, and then they surprised everybody with that run to the Super Bowl, the very next year the place was packed up there. Then when they moved down here, you've got 35 wins in 3 years. Fans are coming out of the woodwork here just to get a glimpse of this football team. So I can't think of a team in the NFL over the last 10 years, and I'm looking at all of the, Kansas City's been on a little bit of a move upward, but nowhere near the jump that you've seen from the Cardinals. There's not a team in the last 10 years that has gone from kind of the also-ran, the last stop in the NFL, to now a contender like the Cardinals. This is one of the great success stories in all of professional football because they've won so much, especially the last 3 years, and many believe they're in the hunt legitimately for a Super Bowl. So this is the model. This has been, a new stadium, an owner that's been very aggressive in Mike Bidwell, a coach that's now the 2-time Coach of the Year that just has a realness about him, and a staff that gets the job done. This is really, I'd have to say, number one on the list on where they were years ago to where they are now in terms of growth and popularity. And then you add the all or nothing Amazon downloadable series, and it adds to the national interest that people have in this Cardinal team. I mean, I get people back in Ohio and Pennsylvania just curious, hey, how are the Cardinals? Those questions were never, ever asked, decades ago in the 80s and 90s. This was just like the last stop in the NFL, and now it's become the destination.
And I hear there's some new food at the stadium too, Jude.
Well, you're talking to a sugar-free, gluten-free vegetarian. No, I listen, I'll dabble into a mega dog once in a while, but people love the experience. And when you look at coming out, whether it's, at a ball game or out here, you get plenty of choices. I mean, it's a very fan-friendly stadium. They put in a new sound system. The big screen that's been here the last couple of years is fabulous. The giant video screen. And the audio system really is spectacular. So, I mean, this is a very comfortable fan experience. With HDTV, the league has always been worried, like so many fans will just sit in the comforts of their own home and enjoy it on these beautiful screens. So they're forced to become more fan-friendly when you come out here and you want a nice selection of your favorite beers, or you want a great sandwich, or you want to enjoy the whole experience with a great new audio system, that's part of drawing fans to this whole game experience, if you will.
Right, and the first taste of that this season, well, I guess it would be preseason, right? This Friday night?
Yeah, this Friday night against the Raiders for sure. I mean, this place will be packed. I'm sure that the build-up for a popular team like the Raiders and, of course, the Cardinals will be quite a draw. Of course, we'll be out here Friday night.
All right, Jude. Well, thanks for checking in. We appreciate your updates from